Welcome back. While millions of folks out there are traveling the roads, a safety advocate says some of that hardware on the side is a bit concerned. He also says some of the guardrail lining could be deadly if you crash into it.
Yeah, he says that there was a recent accident that led him to uncover a type of guardrail that was recommended to be pulled off the roads by the federal government decades ago. And it can be found along some of Florida's most popular roadways. Here's 10 Investigates' Jennifer Titus.
You can still see parts of the car along the road leading up to the Sunshine Skyway Bridge that veered into this tree over the weekend. Police say the driver fell asleep at the wheel, a backseat passenger killed after being ejected. The car coming to rest in front of this guardrail.
That's a major point of concern.
It's this guardrail that safety advocate Steve Eimer said could have caused even more tragedy if the car slammed through it.
Florida DOT and DOTs all across the country that have had this guidance for more than 30 years. And we still have these BCT terminals on the roadside.
A BCT terminal is what you see here. It's the end piece of the guardrail, and this design is a breakaway cable terminal.
What the BCT is, it's a very old, obsolete piece of safety equipment that has not been considered crash-worthy under the MASH testing standards, but even the 1993 published NCHRP Report 350 standards, it could not pass the crash testing.
A report from the Department of Transportation shows how the BCT handled a crash test at just 44 miles an hour. It's what led the federal government to release this memo in 1994, saying that BCTs were no longer acceptable for installation on high-speed, high-volume roads. And while they did not recommend a wholesale replacement of BCTs at the time, they did note that units must be replaced due to accident damage and upgraded with a crash-worthy terminal, and it should also be replaced in conjunction with regularly scheduled roadway work in the same area.
This is a high priority location, and even at a high priority location, we still have this piece of equipment that's not been crash worthy for the better half of a century.
When we asked Florida Department of Transportation last year after another crash involving a BCT why they were still on Florida roads, they told us, as new construction projects take place or as guardrails are damaged, FDOT replaces guardrails with current inventory from our approved product list.
It's not crash worthy. It will spear a vehicle. It cannot redirect our modern vehicle fleet. It doesn't work. Ultimately, it doesn't work, and we've known that for 50 years, and we've had guidance from the Federal Highway Administration for 30 years that this does not work. We have to be investing our dollars in upgrading our barriers.
And Eimer says he sees these types of end terminals not just on Florida roads, but all over the country. A reminder that when you are traveling this holiday, the pieces of metal on the side of the road meant to keep you safe, well, that isn't always the case, so be careful out on the roads. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.